Fredo had a recent social media Snapchat video that went viral about you never feed the badders with pasta. But I love that one. But
Tune into your heart with that guy Ken, the king of
my
hearts.
thing is that men get a really, really bad tag. And in terms of mental health, because of this sort of stigma that we've been given, which is that we all got to be tough, we all got to be keep things inside, we all got to keep things bottled because we got to handle life, we got to be tough, we got to be rigid, we got to be all these various other things. We get labeled with the flip side of that. It's not just about being tough and being strength. It's about it turns out being that because we don't show emotion, we're all hard and we're all toxic or unhealthy. And my issue with that is that it leads us on to having these problems with mental health, because today's society tells us that we can't cry, we can't share emotion, we can't show emotion, we can't talk to each other and get our problems out. Now I'm gonna get a little bit personal here. Recently I had a bit of an issue. I had a bit of a personal issue, and I remember I was walking down the road. I was in Mayfair. I was looking at the new Ferrari shop. Yes,
Very nice.
Looking at the new Ferrari shop.
That's why the beats and ballers.
Yes, that's the kind of baller that I am. But yeah, I was walking through Mayfair, and I walked past the Ferrari shop, and then directly across the street there's a square. It's like a little park, a little green in the middle of the square. And I decided to take a little walk into the square. And as I'm walking along, I saw this homeless guy in the middle of the road, in the middle of the square, and he's a black guy lying down on the grass sleeping. And I looked at it and I was like, how do you get to a point where you are sleeping in the middle of a square in the middle of central London? I wonder where his family is. Where are the people? And then to me, the reason it's personal to me is because I sometimes find it very hard to talk about the things that are going on with me. So I know that with regards to my personal issues, it could be anything from the relationships I'm in with my significant other to the relationships that I'm in with my friends and the relationships with my sisters and my family. Sometimes I can't express myself. And with King of Hearts, what I really want to do is this is an encouragement to all men. You ain't gotta be tough. You ain't gotta be the hard, doesn't talk to anyone, doesn't share emotion, doesn't connect with others, because we go through some nightmares out there. I've heard some stories recently. I know guys who have lost parents, lost their wives, lost their kids, and they have no one to talk to. They don't seek counselors. They don't seek any advice. They don't seek anyone to express themselves and let things out, let their emotions out. I heard there's another famous rapper, I can't remember the name, recently on social media. The guy put up a picture on his Instagram of suicide. Very, very blatant that he's had significant issues, but everyone kind of was like, oh, I can't really relate because he's got money, and he should go and sort himself out. Money doesn't fix half
I
out.
hate you, man.
Don't want to get too soppy. I might get into my emotions. I might get into my feels and start crying. But I'm not going to do that.
Ken. You're not allowed to do
Hey,
that.
I'm not allowed to do that. I'm a baller out here.
Keep balling.
Balling.
Keep balling.
But yeah, reach out to me on that.guy.ken on Instagram. I'm out here. Let's talk. We'll have our shares. We'll have our feels, and we'll get better. That's all I want. Let's all get better. Let's all get healthy. Let's all talk. So I'm the King of Hearts. Come and talk to me. I'm always here for you.
This is the Beats and Balls Show.
He's wearing a king jumper today as well. It's very apt. Shall we move on to Baller of the Week? Yeah. Do you want me to go first this week? I'll let you go first.
Yeah, you got to go first this week.
All right. So my nominee for Baller of the Week, it's a man who earlier this year he got his first UK number one. It's only the second British rap song to go number one. It's called Vossi Bop. If you haven't heard it, then the culture's just not for you. I'm sorry. He won the Best British Album at the Brit Awards in 2018, British Male Solo Artist at the Brit Awards in 2018, countless mobile awards, and he recently headlined Glastonbury. I'm talking about Stormzy, ladies and gentlemen.
Stormzy.
Stormzy.
There's like a juggernaut coming in.
You can't ignore Stormzy,
No.
man. He's doing so much right now. His Glastonbury performance alone, you could see like his versatility as an artist first and foremost. He's known as a grime star, but the releases on Gang Signs and Prayer, his album, it's a mix, it's a mashup. There's the hardcore grime of songs like Mr. Skeng and Return of the Rucksack, but then he'll go into like more ballady kind of slow jams like Velvet and stuff like that. So his versatility as what is predominantly a grime artist is unmatched in my opinion. So yeah, when he was on stage at Glastonbury, he brought out Chris Martin to sing Blinded by Your Grace, which is another very slow tempo sort of track, almost gospely kind of feel. He then went and brought on Fredo and Dave to do Funky Friday. And so he's very much shouting out the culture of the movement there. He's always acknowledged that although he's the figurehead, I don't even think he would acknowledge that he's the figurehead, but he's the prominent figure in grime at the moment. He's not really there. He is the culture. He will always give credit where it's due. Yeah. And he took time out of his set at Glastonbury to salute the pioneers of grime, the Lethal Bizzles, Wileys, the Kanos, who he drew from initially, as well as his contemporaries today. So you've got like Jay Huss, Lady Leisha, Crepton Conan, all of these artists that are coming up with him. He respects all of them equally, and it just shows he's not an ego-driven person. He's there, and he works damn hard, and that's how he got to where he is. But he will do whatever he can to help the come up of those people around him, and as well show his appreciation for those who helped pave the way for him. There was a part during his set at Glastonbury where he... Sorry, you're right there.
Yeah, just making this hard for me. All right.
Sorry, I'll just make one more point and then I'll throw it over to you. So you
haven't got anything, Ken.
No, I got something.
Are you struggling there?
I got something.
Are you kind of defeated already?
No.
I like the sound of this. I like the sound of this. So there was one point in his set where he used the big screens to highlight a ballet studio called Ballet Black, and the message that was on the screen was that, generally speaking, ballet studios don't cater for a diverse network of people, and Ballet Black are a particular studio that provide outfits for darker skin tones, because you see like most ballet outfits and tutus and stuff, they're all pink, they're more suited to lighter skin tones. So that is just like a small private business in London, and he outed it on Glastonbury and said like, this is more of what needs to be done. He's not afraid to put himself out there to get the message across that he feels is right. And I feel there's a link back to Megan Rapinoe there as well. Like, these are the people that we need to have more power, to have more of a voice. People that will shut down the elites, the standard traditional way of doing things. Also, very quickly, he pays for Cambridge scholarships for young black kids, and he's got hashtag Murky Books, where he encourages open submissions for kids to just get published. Basically, it's in partnership with Penguin. Yeah, Stormzy is my nominee for Baller of the Week.
Wow. That just sounds very heavy.
Wow, yeah.
There's some weight behind that.
I didn't come out. My Baller of the Week. I have not got his entire catalog and backlog of history.
I prepared for this.
You did. You really did. Because I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah. Strangely enough, this time I went for someone local as well. So and I did a little name drop of him earlier, just trying to get myself in there kind of early. But now he's dropped Stormzy. So, but look, significantly, just as Stormzy has done so much for the UK music industry, my Baller of the Week has done just as much for the UK music industry, but he's also done a lot for the UK consciousness, educational, political and musical establishment. My ball of the week is none other than Mr. Akala.
Yeah.
Why?
This could be interesting.
Why Akala?
So yeah, recently I saw him and he was receiving an award at an event called the Black Magic Awards, which is taking place at the Criterion Theatre in Piccadilly. And I had a very brief chat with him about some of the work that he's currently working on. Obviously, I think he's been out for about 15 years,
Something like that.
As I mentioned, in terms of consciousness and social consciousness and understanding, he went from rapping to actually being able to say he's written several books about the state of play in Britain, where we've come from and where we've been. The guy is very well read. He's very engaging. He's very, very articulate. He speaks from knowledge, from a place of insight. He doesn't just drop what he's learned. He drops opinion, but he actually has a very eloquent way of dropping his opinion.
And he backs it up with facts.
And he backs it up with facts. I mean, I've never heard him speak. I have never. Like I said, I've met him. I met him once in North London at a book signing, at a conversation about the political regeneration of an area in North London, and the way he spoke, from speaking in front of 40 people to speaking in front of 5,000 people, or being in front of television, the guy is. And he recently posted on Instagram he's one of his very early raps, and you see from where he started off as just doing some bars in his front room to where he is, you can see the intelligence, the growth, the integrity of the man, the clear path to being I don't want to call him a motivational speaker. He's an inspirational speaker. If the youth of the London today needed someone to look up to say, okay, you know what, I don't just need to be a rapper like Stormzy. I need to be a well-rounded individual who has something to say and who can accomplish something just by the weight of their character and the way they speak alone. Akala should be the man that they all look up to, and I really think if you ran for mayor of London, he would get my vote and probably the vote of everybody else that I know. But at the end of the day, we're just talking about ballers of the week, so you know what, Mr. Chris, it's over to you.
Over to you, sir.
Wow, that's some. I'm very familiar with Akala. I have recently finished Natives. Empire the book Natives, which is up there amongst, I read a lot, but it's up there amongst my favourite books of all time, and I will continue to read that book and go over and over to read it, get some more insight from it. So Stormzy, who has really captured the mainstream, and to play Glastonbury, headline Glastonbury, is a very, very significant thing to do. So, where am I going? I think one has kind of fed into the other, and one has influenced the other to go onto that platform to say, now you can take that platform, and I think they complement each other. But I'm going to go with Stormzy.
Oh, Mr. Chris!
I'm going to go with Stormzy.
You know what? I did not see that
because
coming.
he has taken that platform.
What?
And if we talk about,
Mr. Chris.
we talked about Megan Rapinoe and how you use that platform to open up and inspire future generations. I think the way Stormzy is conducting his business, he is going to be that guy who influences future generations. And Akala will continue to influence generations. So
wow.
Stormzy.
Akala has influenced Stormzy to be there, and you don't give it to Akala. Mr. Chris.
Akala gets it every day.
I mean, the thing
man.
is with Akala, like, he
deserves more accolades.
Akala is just he's a guy that just knows so much about history, and you can't argue against him. Like, and personally, if I was presented the two of them, I probably would have picked Akala, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Mr. Chris.
In terms, you're about to do yourself out of winning the honor.
No. I'll take it.
Stormzy. Let's give it up to him.
Well done, Stormzy.
Headlining Glastonbury, yes. Big thing.
Right, so I think that just about brings us to the end of the show, guys. Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening. We have been
That Guy Ken
and JR the Beatmaker. We'll be back with another episode soon, but please, in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and give us a review. You can